is the life of the plant. Let me grab the camera and let's go see where his elephant garlic is. Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. Let's take a little trip around the yard and I'm going to show you how the garlic's growing and the best ways I have found to grow garlic. Now, let me start off by saying the garlic that I am growing, I picked up from the grocery store for about $2. They come in a 3-pack and these are certified organic. I've got 2 videos up how I like growing the garlic. I start them in the house. I was fortunate enough to get the California white soft neck garlic. Now this garlic is one of the easiest garlics to grow. You can grow them all the way from Canada all the way down way into California and Florida. They grow in zones 3 to 9. We're in 10A and they do fabulous. So they're the easiest garlic to grow. That's the number one thing. And what you will need is organic, something that wasn't irradiated. If it comes from another country, they're usually irradiated and at that point they look pretty, but they won't grow. They might get a little bit of green growth, but they will not grow roots. And the roots is the life of the plant. You need to make sure it will grow a good amount of roots and then it will start growing on the top. Here, as you can see, quickly, I've got these that gotta get out in the yard. Problem is, they're growing so good. Look at this. They're popping their tops and growing way up, just in a coffee cup, no holes, with a little bit of potting soil. I like growing them this way because growing them and starting them this way, I know what's alive and what is gonna grow. If you just put them into the ground and you don't know, or a pot, and you don't know if it's going to make it, then you're waiting to see if it's alive. This one is just starting, it's getting its roots, and I'm going to wait till it has a little bit of green growth, and then I'm going to put it in. This is beyond. It could have been already planted, and we've been just trying to get them in the ground as fast as possible because I ended up with way too much. Here's a good example, and I'll get more into that later. I did buy some elephant garlic. It was not organic. This was the only one I can get from the grocery store. So I tried it and I broke it into 3 cloves. There were 3. Now this one is the one that doesn't want to grow, which is interesting. It's only getting a couple roots and they're very weak roots. So I don't know if this is going to grow. The other 2, the same bulb, grew beautiful. They got long roots and everything, and Gary already put it in the garden. This one is struggling. It may have been sprayed or treated with a growth inhibitor. So even though I soaked it, the other 2 didn't get as much, but this one got more. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's elephant garlic. So if you get garlic that is not organic, soak it for a good few hours or maybe overnight, and hopefully if it was just treated, you can get it to start to grow once that growth inhibitor is off. Let's go into the garden and now let me show you the best way here that they're growing tons of garlic. So I put on a hat and I came out here, and my first stop is in my rainbow garden that I'm working on. And let me show you something. This is interesting. I planted up a bunch of garlic in these little 2-gallon buckets. And let me show you the bucket. Here it is. Because I'm going to use this for layering, and we'll get more into that later, because I'm going to sit them on the top as I set up my totes. But this one was sitting inside an empty tote, so it was getting quite a bit of shade. Even though we're quite sunny right now, the shade, I guess, wasn't, that great for the garlic, because the sides of the tote was shading since it's sitting on the bottom, way deep inside the tote. So what happened was they're growing, but they're very small. And so is the lettuce. And let's go around in my other garden where it gets full blazing sun all day. And let me show you the difference between this garlic growing, same garlic, and the garlic in my bird garden on the other side, my main garden. Remember this one now. So now we're in my main garden that gets sun from morning to sundown. It is so sunny and warm in this garden. Very south-facing garden. I put 3 buckets here, and it is unreal how thick the stalks are growing. The lettuce even took off, and these buckets are doing phenomenal. Look at this. They may be a little close, but you know what? It doesn't matter. As far as what part of the garlic grows the best, of course, the larger the clove, the larger the yield you'll get. But you know what? I'm fine if I end up with small garlic. I don't use a whole garlic at one time anyways. And once my garlic takes off, which I'm sure this year it will, I'll be able to save back the ones I want the best, cook and use and eat the ones that are smaller, and plant back the ones that have grown in my yard. Look how fantastic these are. Aren't they gorgeous? These are 2-gallon buckets. I wouldn't go too much shallower than this, a good 12 to 18 inches, because they do grow a little bit of a root system, but these are doing fantastic. So what do they like? In my opinion, they like full blazing sun. They are so happy to get sun from as morning till night, as much sun as possible. I keep them well watered. The soil is wet. The holes on these are on the bottom because I'm going to be using these for layering. It won't matter if you want to put the holes higher up. As long as where the garlic is growing, it stays damp, but not like a pond. You don't want it sopping wet. You don't want it soggy. You want it damp. They like a lot of water. They don't like being completely dried out. These have been doing fantastic. Well drainage. That's the main thing. Wet and well drained. And that is it. So these are going on top of my totes. Well, I don't know. I might leave some of these here since they're so happy and make some more for the totes, since I've got hundreds of little garlic cloves to plant. But these are doing great. Double duty. I've got lettuce in here. And hint, my yard is covered in hundreds of birds, and they haven't bothered to chew on this lettuce. I'm guessing maybe the garlic throws them off. I don't know, and it could be, of course, if they went in here and tried and figured it out, they would. But I've got all this lettuce growing. Nothing's bothered it among the garlic. And the lettuce I grow is romaine because it grows the best in my garden, and I keep my own seeds. So I know that they were born and raised here, they're happy, and it works out. You know what? One more stop, one more thing. I did plant some garlic on the driveway on my wall where I've got all those totes, the 18-gallon totes, and they didn't grow as big. They don't get a lot of morning sun there. They seem to right now at this time of the year, we're still in winter, they're getting afternoon sun. Maybe they're missing a little bit of something. All planted the same. The soil is the same. It's all full of leaves and sticks and twigs and brown matter, and not too much kitchen scraps in here. I just didn't bother. And then a little bit of potting soil or good compost that I have laying around here. Nothing fancy. They probably are not getting quite as much sun as these are getting, but these are doing fantastic. So let's do one more stop because Gary's got garlic in his larger totes. And let's go down and see what's going on in Gary's garden and see how well his are doing. So now I'm ending this in Gary's garden. He's growing his in 18-gallon totes. Now he's got them submerged in water. He's got the pools. And don't worry about mosquitoes. He's got mosquito fish in here and they eat up everything. But his garlic, he planted it around the same time as the ones I've got in my garden in the buckets. And they're doing fantastic. Look how tall they are. They're all doing really good. I think he needs a label. We'll put a little label in there. And this way he'll remember what they are. But you can plant them in small flower pots. I wouldn't go too shallow. I'd give them a good 12 inches. And you can, of course, go bigger. These are much bigger. Like I said, they're totes. And before I end this, Gary, where's your elephant garlic? Is it in here?
No, it's in the other pot.
Let me grab the camera and let's go see where his elephant garlic is. So where is your elephant garlic?
I've got two and I planted one here.
Okay, so they haven't come up yet. So
no, they're just setting root.
Yeah, the one on the house is not. Oh, you actually dig it up and show? You can see the roots. Oh yes. See, the one in the house won't grow roots. Okay, well we'll see. That's interesting that you can have one big garlic bulb, break it into 3, and 2 grow and 1 is not growing. So we'll see what happens with that. And then of course, we'll see how Gary's garlic over here grows. And now he'll remember what's in there. So that's with the garlic. That's so you'll remember.
Okay, California white soft-neck garlic.
Yep. And that's a project we're all going to do pretty soon. So I hope I've answered all your questions on garlic. And like I always say, don't forget
To eat what you grow.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.